Alright, so today we're looking at a transcript of Fred Rogers' testimony before the U.S. Senate. Fred Rogers was a host of children's television programming, and his show was very popular and much beloved. At the time, though, there was not a lot of money for this, and the United States government was considering spending $20 million on this kind of broadcast, right? Because it's more educational, it's more family and learning oriented. And so the idea was, should they do that? Should they spend $20 million? It's a lot of money. And as Fred Rogers testifies, you can watch the video, the senator with whom he's talking, the senator changes his mind. The value of this testimony, the value of this speaking, this writing, could arguably be $20 million, right? So there's something valuable here. And I want to point out that in both of these longer instances of Fred Rogers' speech, he seems to follow our pattern. In the first instance, he establishes the value of his work, the different companies, the different programs that he has worked with, and what they've managed to accomplish, but it's nothing compared to the money that the commercialized enterprises have, right? They have very little money compared to these other people who are maybe showing things to children that are not quite as useful or as good as we want. And what he's saying is we want to really connect with children about what they are going through, right? Like it could be as simple as a haircut. Maybe you remember your first haircut and you got it and you felt so happy because your hair looked great, or you felt so nervous because you didn't like it, or whatever. But that's a real feeling. I still remember the first time I got my hair cut at a barbershop, because when I was a kid, my mother always cut my hair, and then one day I went and they put me up in this big chair and they put the big thing on me, and I felt very cool. I was like, yes, they are going to cut my hair. I must be a very cool guy. So I still remember that experience, and it shows how Fred Rogers had insight into children, and that most of us probably can remember a haircut, right? We can remember a good one we had or a bad one we had. The second time that Fred Rogers speaks, he again follows this pattern. He says, here's something we did, but the money ran out and these cities needed us. They needed this expression of care. When he talks about care, he's saying that he helps children, he tells children that they are special, that they are unique, that they are worthwhile, and he believes we need more of this in broadcasting. Maybe not so much shooting and gunfire and car chases, maybe some more stuff that makes us actually feel good for the benefit of our humanity, of our social lives. What I want to point out, though, in Fred Rogers' testimony is all the names and numbers that he uses when he establishes the value and the problem of what he is talking about. Using these names and numbers, he shows not only that he understands the situation at hand, but that he has his own point of view, and that point of view is worth hearing and taking in. For example, if you and I see some question on an exam, like there are many commercially funded programs for children, should the government spend money to provide educational programs? We might begin our writing using those very same sentences. We might say, nowadays there are many commercially funded entertainment choices for children, but I think this is not good. We should fund educational programs for children through the government. Something like that. There's nothing wrong with reusing the sentences of the question, but I would encourage you as a writer to synthesize the value and the problem from the question that you are given, and then use names and numbers from your own life, your own experience, to show not only that you understand the situation, but that you have your point of view on the situation.